Hi, I'm Charlie Roadman, Austin Criminal Defense Attorney, and today I want to talk about background checks, applications, and mugshot companies. All right, so first, what shows up on a background check? Well, basically, any case that's been resolved, okay, whether it's a conviction, deferred adjudication, or even a dismissal, is going to show up on a background check. The big question is, will a pending case show up? And the answer is sometimes. Okay, now the reason a pending case shows up is because it's available out there somewhere in the digital online world. Most jurisdictions now have a website that lists all the pending cases. So these different companies, people can find it. Okay, that doesn't mean they will. It just means they can find a pending case. Now, will your record ever fall off? Okay, that's not a legal phrase or term, but we hear it phrased that way. And that's just another way of saying, will a case after a certain period of time just be gone? Okay, and the answer is unfortunately no. The only types of cases that really just disappear are juvenile cases after a certain period or you reach a certain age. Even if it's dismissed, okay, and so people rightfully think, well, it's dismissed. Why doesn't it go away? Well, it just doesn't happen automatically. You have to have active legal action to get a dismissed case removed and deleted from the record. So that's an expunction, and then there's sealing or non-disclosure for different types of deferred adjudication cases. So to get something off your record, it requires specific legal action, usually after some waiting period has passed. Now, can people hold a criminal case against you? And this is really too broad a question for me to answer generally, because there are federal laws, state laws, government agency rules, private company rules. So if you have the sense that someone has used something against you that they shouldn't have, you really need to contact an employment attorney. Okay. That said, I will say in general, specifically in Texas where we are, that people, they are allowed to not hire you based on criminal history. Okay. Now, the different types of background checks, because people say, what's going to show up? Well, it really depends on the different levels. Okay. So there's a law enforcement level background check, which is like a government background check, that's going to discover everything. Okay. They're going to see overdue library books. Okay. I'm kind of joking about that, but maybe not really. Okay, they'll see everything. So, like if you're applying to the FBI will see everything. Okay, if you're going to be a doctor and be certified, through the medical board of a state, or they're going to see everything. Now, below that is a commercial background check company. So, like publicdata.com, or there's 100 of them that apartment complexes hire to do these background checks. They're going to be less thorough, okay, but they still can find anything. It just depends on how good the company is at finding things. So that's what I say the mid-tier. Now, beneath that is just individual searches, right? So people can go online and search your name in specific counties or cities and court directories, and they can find things. Whether they'll know how to do that or where to go or what your legal name is, or those kinds of things, I of course don't know, but most things are out there in some digital form nowadays. Now, applications, we get asked, well, what do I need to put down on this application? Okay, and so my question is always, well, what does the application ask? Because there's really two types. One that asks you if you've been convicted of something, and then one that asks whether you've been arrested for something. Now, the convicted, the answer depends on what the result of your case was, of course. And so what I suggest is take a picture of the question or copy the question somehow, get it to your lawyer, and ask them, how do I answer this question? Because your lawyer is going to know what the result of the case was and whether you were convicted or not, although you may know that too. So you may be able to answer that question. Well, the next question beneath it is, have you ever been arrested? But that is rare that's asked, and generally it's for high-level things, like if you're going to be a pilot or, again, work for the FBI or something like that. They'll ask that question. Most private companies and apartment complexes won't ask, have you been arrested? They'll say, have you been convicted? Okay. Now, do you need to tell your current job? Okay, this is we get asked this a lot, and the first response is always, well, look at your employment manual, okay, your HR manual, if you have one. Okay, if you have one, it will tell you what they expect you to do. You know, some companies expect you to tell them if you've been arrested, some only to tell you if you've been convicted. But that's the first place you should look. And then the second sort of thing you should think about is, does your arrest create some liability for your company? Okay, for example, if you're a truck driver and you get a DWI, your company's going to want to know, because the fact that you've been arrested creates this liability for them. So that brings me to my next point, which is that often companies are happier that you told them, okay, than if you kept it from them. Okay, so I've had a lot of clients that they didn't know what to do. They told their company, and they're happy they did, mainly because the honesty of it, the company appreciates, and it's very stressful to hide things from people. So don't underestimate, the value of honesty and the toll of actually hiding the arrest. Now, we do ask, will the court system contact your employer? And the answer 98% of the time is no. They're not going to, the court system isn't going to call up Dell and say, hey, did you know so-and-so got arrested? Unless the arrest involved some sort of Dell property or something like that. That's, but the one exception to that is school teachers, like school boards seem to find out about arrests pretty quick, automatically, without people telling them. Like there's some sort of system that jobs that involve children have systems that check fairly regularly for arrests. So 98% of the time, the court system isn't going to contact your employer, but in this, if you work in a job that's very specific, the very, very important job, they often have systems to look for people that have been arrested. Now, mugshot companies. This is a real dark business model that people have, where they post your mugshot and basically extort you into paying them to take it down. Is it legal? Yeah, it is actually, because it's public record, the arrest and the mugshot itself. Although there are lawsuits about that all the time, so things could change. One of the questions we get, will they take your mugshot down? And they generally will. If you pay them, they'll take it down. The problem, of course, is there's dozens of different mugshot companies. So if you pay one, are you going to have to pay 20 others? I don't know. It's kind of what they do is extortion, but they don't really, but they will take it down if you pay them. So should you? It depends on what your personality is, if you can stand that it's out there or not. Most search engines have been pushing them farther down so that they're not on the front page as much anymore. So hopefully that's the situation. I will say that sometimes they'll take it down if you send them a dismissal. Okay, they'll certainly take it down if you send them proof that it was expunged, but sometimes even just a dismissal, they will take it down. All right, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, just give us a call.